Has it been your dream to become a best-selling author? Then please watch this video to understand the truth behind hitting the bestseller charts. Hi, this is Jyotsna Ramachandran from happyselfpublishing.com. When I speak to a prospective client for the very first time, most of them tell me that their dream is to become a best-selling author. And they ask questions like, how many copies of my book should I sell? Is it 2,000 books or 10,000 books? And that's when I understood that there are a lot of misinformation around this whole concept of becoming a best-selling author, which is what I want to address in this video. First of all, when somebody tells you that I'm a best-selling author, ask them in which list did they hit the bestseller charts. Is it the New York Times bestseller charts, or is it Wall Street Journal bestseller list, or is it USA Today, or is it an Amazon bestseller list? Because each of these lists are different and they don't mean the same thing. In my opinion, the most difficult chart to hit is New York Times bestseller because it's a mystery. Nobody actually knows how they calculate. Yes, it is true that they have selected some retail stores and some online stores in the United States. And again, if it's Barnes & Noble, it's not all the Barnes & Noble in the country. They just handpick a few of them as samples, but they just don't go by the sales figure. They have some secret formula that they use to curate this list. So this list is curated. So everything is not in black and white. So just because a book sells thousands of copies, it need not enter the New York Times bestseller list. Now coming to Wall Street Journal list and USA Today bestseller, what these guys do is they actually look at the sales numbers only. So Wall Street Journal looks at a number called Nielsen's Bookscan. So what Nielsen's Bookscan does is it totals up the sales of books across a lot of different platforms and it shares the number every week, and Wall Street Journal picks that up to decide the top 10 in different categories. The only problem with this Nielsen's Bookscan number is that it does not include certain platforms. For example, it doesn't include big retailers like Walmart, and it also doesn't include some online important retailers like CreateSpace. And as a result, the numbers are slightly skewed, but what I've heard is it does include 75 to 80% of all the book sales. Therefore, it is a fair measure. USA Today also does something similar. It takes into account the sales that happen on different platforms and totals it up and then makes a list of 150 books and it publishes it every week. In my opinion, most self-published authors, especially first-time authors, find it extremely difficult or nearly impossible to hit any of these charts because most self-published authors do not get into bookstores. And as a result, most of their sales happen only online on platforms like Amazon. As a result, it's extremely difficult to hit the charts. Yes, I have author friends who've become USA Today bestsellers, Wall Street Journal bestsellers, but they are very rare. So if you're a first-time author, my suggestion to you would be to just focus on hitting the Amazon bestseller chart. Now let me tell you what an Amazon bestseller chart is. Amazon makes a list of bestsellers for every category. So if somebody tells you that they are an Amazon bestseller, it does not mean that their book was #1 among all the books available on Amazon. Those kind of things mostly happen for books like Harry Potter. I've rarely seen books in the non-fiction business kind of genre hit that kind of a number. But the good news is that even if you hit the top 100 under any category inside Amazon's book category, you can still call yourself a bestseller. So Amazon has one category called books and another category called Kindle Store. And under these, there are several subcategories like self-help, business, health, spirituality, cookbooks, romance, thriller, horror, etc. And under each of these categories, there are subcategories. For example, under self-help, there are categories like creativity, happiness, inner child, etc. So even if you go to a subcategory and still manage to hit the top 100, you can technically call yourself a best-selling author. However, from my experience, if you put in a little bit of effort, you can actually hit the #1 position in any of these categories. And it's always better to call yourself a #1 best-selling author than just a best-selling author. And by the way, apart from the weekly bestseller charts, Amazon also calculates its list every 1 hour. So every 1 hour, if you hit the refresh button, you will find that the books under the bestseller list have changed. Why is it so important to become a bestseller? Having your book inside the chart not just increases the visibility of your book, but also helps you position yourself as a best-selling author. And as a result, you might attract better clients, you might get some great speaking opportunities, Get so many other advantages. Therefore, if you want to know how we can help you hit the bestseller charts inside Amazon, then please go to happyselfpublishing.com/scheduler to schedule a call with one of my team members, and we'll help you create a plan to become an Amazon bestselling author. I hope you found this video useful to get some clarity about how these bestseller charts work. I'll see you next week with yet another video. Bye.